Hi, this is Ron Darling.
This is Skip Lockwood.
Hi, I'm Ron Swoboda of the 69 New York Mets, and you're listening to Mets Musings with Gary Mack.
Now it's time for some New York Mets baseball talk. Here's Gary Mack bringing you the latest news and analysis from Mets Nation and the world of baseball on another edition of Mets Musings.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Mets Musings. I hope you all had a great week out there. Well, we are off and running on the 2025 season. The Mets have completed their first two series of the season on the road, going 3-3 in the first 6 games. They dropped their opening series in Houston, 1-2. Pitching was pretty good, starting and relieving, actually. The offense was horrible there, and they just couldn't get a hit. And look, Houston's a good team, and there's nothing to be ashamed about, but they just couldn't put together a hit, and that's something that we have seen in the past, and it looks like it's going to continue again, but they left there and went on to Miami, and the offense exploded. They got 10 runs in the opening game. David Peterson was terrific in his first start of the season, and Pete Alonso broke open the game, really, with a grand slam home run, and Brandon Nimmo hit a home run in that game as well. Luis Torrens hit a home run. Just a great offensive explosion and a great offensive performance. It wasn't the carryover, though. Kodai Senga made his season debut in Game 2 of the series, struggled through the first inning. He gave up a leadoff double, and then the second batter took him deep, so he was in the hole 2-0. He did manage to get himself straightened out, and he finished the outing with 8 strikeouts, 2 earned runs, and 3 hits in 5 innings pitched. He was the victim of 2 errors in a sloppily played game. Francisco Lindor made 2 errors, one leading to the go-ahead run, and overall, though, he did not pitch bad, Kodai Senga, so it's good news for things to come. Max Kranick came in and pitched 3 perfect innings, so the bullpen continued to look sharp and to look very good through the first 5 games of the season, and Kranick especially, he got 3 straight perfect frames, the 6th, 7th, and the 8th, and just looked terrific. Now the 4th game, the final game of the series, was a wild one, and it was filled with Mets mental errors, and again, the early part of the game, they could not buy a hit. Same old thing. The offense was terrible. And in a way, I think they're starting to take it out in the field. Mark Vientos made a couple of mental boo-boos there and really put the team back. They were down 4-1 going into the 8th, and Pete Alonso blasted a tying 3-run homer, and finally they got a little more offense. The bullpen escaped persistent threats, and the Mets pushed across 2 runs in the 11th inning for a 6-5 victory at Lone Depot Park. Danny Young surrendered a run in the bottom of the 11th frame before Huascar Brazoban entered the game and recorded the final 2 outs, and he looked sharp again. He looked really good. You know, this is going to be tough in that bullpen when Nunez is ready to go, because there's a lot of guys that are pitching well right now. A.J. Minter struggled in this game, did not look that good, but he's your lefty, so and Danny Young didn't look terrific either, but got out of it. Brazoban came in, recorded the final 2 outs, and got his first save of his career. And Hayden Senga started the game at catcher and got his first major league hit in this game. So congratulations to him. And it's got to be exciting. The guy didn't expect to make the roster. An injury to Alvarez, and he makes the roster, and now he gets his first major league hit. So that's got to be exciting. It was terrific to see him, to start the game, and then he was so excited about it, getting a hit. So terrific thing to see. So as I said, the Mets won the series and the rubber game and completed a 3-3 road trip, and they come home to play their home opener on Friday, weather permitting, against the Toronto Blue Jays. So we'll be looking for that, and we'll cover that a little bit later. Okay, let's take a look at some of the injuries. Sean Manaea, who had recently resumed throwing and was working toward a return from an oblique injury, has been shut down after feeling discomfort in the oblique as he started to ramp up his throwing. An MRI revealed some inflammation, and he received a platelet-rich plasma injection on March 31st. Because of the 2-week no-throw period he has been ordered to go through, this is going to knock his return back to the end of May, or maybe even a bit later. Let's say June, just to be on the safe side. If the starting pitching, as it's constructed right now, continues to pitch decently, there is no need to rush him back. Just let him get healthy so he can pitch the rest of the season, and we have that fresh arm coming in at least half of the season. So no sense in rushing. And in fact, any of these guys we're going to talk about that are injured, no sense rushing any of them back. Now, they tend to rush themselves back, but the team's got to keep it down, make sure they get healthy and are ready to go when they come back. And Jeff McNeil is taking swings at about 80 or 85%. Carlos Mendoza said all is going well with him. Paul Blackburn started a throwing progression on March 31st that manager Carlos Mendoza said went well. Francisco Alvarez has had his stitches removed on March 24th and began performing catching drills on March 29th. If all continues along this path and goes okay, he could return to the Mets in late April. Frankie Montas, upon straining his lat in mid-February, entered a period of 6 to 8 weeks without throwing, which is still ongoing. Should be coming to an end in the next, I would say, 2 weeks, though no official word yet. Though a follow-up MRI in late March did show good progress. So he is healing, and again, there is no need to rush him right at this moment. So let him get completely healed. And then once he gets healed, he will need a full spring training style build-up to get ready for the season. But I wouldn't expect to see him maybe until late June or even July. But again, sometimes this can work out for you because it's a fresh arm coming in. It's almost would be like making a trade at the trading deadline. You bring in somebody, they got a fresh arm, hopefully, and it's a change of pace. It's a different person, different personality, and it can spark a team. But no sense rushing any of these injuries right now. Let them get healed up. We'll need them for the second half of the season. The Mets traded outfielder Alexander Canario to the Pirates for cash, reports Anthony Como of MLB.com. New York had designated him for assignment as part of their opening day roster shuffle. Now, when they got Canario, they knew it was going to be tough. They knew there wasn't going to be really a spot for him because he didn't have options, so they could not send him. But they wanted to try him out. They did. He played pretty well, sparked some interest. They thought they could sneak him through the waivers, perhaps. Didn't pan out. So he is now a Pittsburgh Pirate. So, good luck to him. Hopefully he can make it there and, have a nice career. All right, let's take a quick break, and we'll come back right after this.
Baseball and BBQ, your place for interesting baseball talk, opinions, and history.
Baseball and BBQ, your place for barbecue recipes, tips, and interviews from the world of barbecue. If you like baseball and if you like barbecue, then tune in to Baseball and BBQ. Find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and BaseballTalkRadio.com.
Okay, we're back, and now it's time to go down on the farm. We're going to go down on the farm and take a look at some of the Mets prospects and what they're doing so far. Blade Tidwell was sharp for Syracuse on his opening day, hurling 5 innings of 1 run ball against the Worcester Red Sox. He struck out 5, walked 1, gave up 1 hit, throwing 41 of his 62 pitches for strikes. Syracuse won that game 4-3. Brandon Sproat didn't fare as well in his first game of the season. Picked up where he left off last season as he struggled and he was unable to get out of the game's 3rd inning. Dom Hamill looked in control in his 2025 season debut for Syracuse. He allowed no runs on 2 hits in 5 innings while striking out 3 batters and walking none. He allowed a hit to his first batter of the game and a hit in the 3rd inning and never allowed another hit or base runner to get beyond first base. Hamill threw 38 of his 57 pitches for strikes. The Syracuse team is 2-2 on the young season. They have a lot of injuries, especially to the infield, so we'll have to keep an eye on that team as the season progresses. Now, Friday is a big day. Not only do the Mets have their home opener, the Rumble Ponies, the Brooklyn Cyclones, and the St. Lucie Mets all kick off their seasons on Friday the 4th as well. So the Rumble Ponies roster features some of the team's top prospects like Jet Williams, Jonah Tong, Ryan Clifford, and Nolan McLean. Boy, that's a nice group to have there. The Cyclones' initial 33-man squad features 7 of the Mets' top 30 prospects as ranked by MLB.com. Headlining the group are outfielder Carson Bange, left-handed pitcher Jonathan Santucci, infielders Boston Barrow and Jacob Rama, catcher Chris Swaro, outfielder Eli Serrano III, and catcher Ronald Hernandez. And that's another group of prospects that's going to be interesting to watch as the season goes on. The St. Lucie Mets roster features 8 of the Mets' top 30 prospects, and youth will be a theme this season. Of the 12 position players on the team, there are 5 teenagers, 4 20-year-olds, a 21-year-old, and a 22-year-old. There is some experience within the youth, as 9 of the 12 position players appeared in games with St. Lucie in 2024. So that is the farm report, and for this week, and in an exciting time as these kids are getting ready to start their baseball season, and for some start their baseball career. So if you can go out and check out these minor league games, I'm a big Cyclones fan. I love going to the games, and it's just terrific. It's a fun time, and if you're nearby, or even if you want to make a trip, go check it out. All right, and finally tonight, let's take a look at the Mets' home opener. The Toronto Blue Jays come into town, and the Blue Jays made some moves in the offseason. They seem to be in, or wanted to be in, on every free agent that was out there. Unfortunately, they weren't able to really do a lot. They did add a couple, and we'll talk about that in a second, but they secured catcher Alejandro Kirk with a 5-year, $58 million extension, including a $6 million signing bonus. Kirk is 26 years old. He's been instrumental as the team's primary catcher. They also added this season, in the offseason, that is, Anthony Santander, the slugger, and traded for Andres Jimenez, the former Met, who was an all-star with Cleveland, and now he is with the Toronto Blue Jays, and he's a terrific player as well. So they're no pushover, Toronto. So it's going to be an interesting and a tough series when they come in this week and kick off the Mets' home season at Citi Field. In the pitching department, they also acquired veteran right-hander Max Scherzer on a 1-year deal. He aims to bolster the rotation. However, he came out of his first start with an injury, but they're looking to him for his experience to provide some stability and mentorship to their younger pitchers. However, there is some uncertainty over the future as their key players, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and Bo Bichette, both entering contract years, and Guerrero is one of the best hitters in baseball, one of the best players overall in baseball, and it's going to be fun to watch him this weekend. And he's refuted rumors of seeking a contract comparable to Juan Soto's deal, clarifying that his last offer was under $600 million for 14 years. So no chump change there either. But that situation is going to play out next season, and it could be interesting to see if the Mets get involved in the Vlad negotiations, because Pete Alonso has the right to opt out. So if Pete has a big season, he could opt out of his contract, hoping to get a bigger extension. The Mets could re-sign Pete, or could go and try to sign Guerrero Jr. Now, I know a lot of Met fans would say, well, sign both of them. bring them in. But I don't think it's going to work that way. But anyway, it'll be interesting to see next offseason. We got a long season to go before that happens. So we'll see how that all plays out. And the pitching matchups, I got them written down right here, is going to be Kevin Gossman versus McGill. That's the home opener. Then we got Chris Bassett versus Griffin Canning, our old friend Chris Bassett. He pitched for the Mets a couple of years ago. Did a fine job here. And then in the final game of the series, it's Robert Bowden Francis versus David Peterson, making his second start of the year as well. So that is the pitching matchups for this weekend. Be sure to check out the games on radio or TV, or if you can go to the games, let's hope the weather holds and it's nice weather for those games. And if you're watching on YouTube, please hit the like and the subscribe buttons, and leave a comment and let us know how we're doing. If you're watching on Rumble, you can follow us, and that does the same thing, and you can leave a comment there as well. The audio version is on all of the major podcast apps, so look for us there as well. And that's going to wrap it up for this week's edition of Mets Musings. Hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you'll join me every week during season as we bring you the best of Mets news right up to date. And we've been doing this since 2010, so we've been around a long time. So tune in again next week, and remember, until we meet again, keep the faith, stay optimistic, and let's go Mets. And I'm Gary Mack, and I'll see you next time on another edition of Mets Musings.